Hello, my name is Joseph Morosky. This is my consumer behavior interview analysis. I interviewed 3 different people over 3 different products they bought recently that were a little bit costly, and I analyzed the decision making behind them, the motive behind them, and the after purchase satisfactory. This presentation and project is the alternate assignment for the course Marketing 34303 with my professor Jonathan Lislin, with a meeting time at 3:30 Tuesday and Thursday. My name is Joseph Morosky. My email is morosky@uark.edu. My ID is 011003668. For each interview, I ask the same set of questions. The first one being is, what is the most recent costly item you purchased and how much did it cost? The second one being is, what was the motive behind the purchase you made? The third one being is, where did you purchase this? The fourth one being is, what factors made you choose this item over another one? Was it the cost, the brand name, the reviews? And the last question being is, were you satisfied with the product after you purchased it? The 3 people I interviewed were Eli, Nick, and Lawson. Eli bought a downhill mountain bike for $2,000. Nick bought a fishing reel that was $250. And Lawson bought an intercooler for his car that was about $500. Now, what's similar about all these is they all tie to a hobby, which made my analysis insights very interesting. Each person I interviewed, their purchase was directly connected with their lifestyle or hobby. Eli's bike purchase was connected with his mountain biking hobby. Nick's fishing reel purchase was connected with his competitive fishing he does. Lawson's intercooler he bought was connected to his hobby for his fun turbocharged BMW to run better. Now, these items that they purchased had a very wide range in cost, all the way from $250 to $2,000. But no matter the price, each item improved performance in their hobby. Not only did the product just increase performance for their hobby, it also supported an activity they were very passionate about, which made them fulfill their passion and hobby even more. I noticed a common theme across all 3 purchases. They were all purchased for performance-related reasons. Eli needed a bike that was more durable for the riding he's doing now on harder trails. He needs better suspension, better brakes, etc. Nick needed a better reel for further casting and more accurate casting at fishing tournaments. Lawson wanted to lower intake air temperatures on his car so that it could take a beating harder and stay cool, and it would also improve horsepower. Now, there was also some shared motives I noticed within these. Like I said, they are all improving performance, and they were all strengthening a hobby and making them reach that maximum potential of their hobby they want to. And last, they all got something high quality and reliable that would last a long time for long-term use. In the terms of decision making, I noticed 3 common factors that influenced their decisions on their purchase: brand reputation, recommendations, and product performance. Eli had done some research and looked at downhill mountain bikes that he would be using for his application in trails, and he realized that the name brands Trek and Specialized would be a good option for him because they come with good Fox suspension and hydraulic disc brakes. Nick had looked at what his teammates on the fishing team were using, and he noticed they were using a lot of Shimano baitcaster reels. So he decided that a Shimano baitcaster would be good for him because he noticed how far they were casting and how accurate they were casting. Lawson had done research on BMW forums and looked at reviews to decide on the intercooler he wanted. He decided on the VRSF because it is high quality, will last a long time, and gives the lowest intake air temperatures. While price was considered for each person's purchase, it wasn't the main concern. The main concern was getting something reliable and high quality that performs well. Each interview also showed how consumers choose a retailer based on the product they are buying. Eli had already decided that he's going to get a Specialized or a Trek bike. No doubt about it. So what he did was he went to a local bike shop in Dallas called Bike Mart, where there's a bunch of expert mountain bikers, road bikers, BMX riders, you name it. And he got the best advice for a good fitting bike and a good model for downhill mountain biking that he's going to use in the years to come. Nick had already decided on a Shimano baitcaster reel. He just didn't know what model he needed yet because his teammates were using a bunch of different ones. So he went to Bass Pro Shop so he could get it on the same day for his fishing tournament that weekend. And he got expert advice on what model he should get for the best accuracy and distance of casting. Lawson had already decided on a VRSF intercooler. but he didn't know what website to buy it on because a lot of different websites had different prices. So what he did is did some research on more forums and found that Redline360.com is a great retailer to buy the VRSF intercooler. It had the best price and the fastest shipping. A very common pattern I noticed with this is they all wanted it quickly. Eli needed his bike immediately for his mountain biking trip coming up. Nick needed his fishing reel really quickly for his fishing tournament coming up. And Lawson just wanted the intercooler to be there as soon as possible. So the common pattern I noticed was convenience and confidence in the seller. All three individuals immediately had high satisfaction with their purchase. On Eli's first trip on his bike, he noticed it handled a drop so much better than his old bike, and it was handling the rough terrain like no other. Nick immediately noticed on his first cast out of the fishing tournament how far his cast went and how accurate it was, and reeled in a big old bass. Lawson noticed immediately on his first pull in his car, the intake air temps drop immediately to reduce heat soak. Across the three interviews, there are some pretty typical patterns to everyone who purchases something. Lots of people buy purchases for their hobby. A lot of people do heavy research on a big purchase so they get higher satisfaction out of it. And a lot of people are very brand loyal to certain brands. And a lot of people are willing to spend a little more money on something high quality. Now, there were also some unique patterns I noticed across these interviews. All these purchases were tied to an active or technical hobby, which is something you also don't see every day. And there was also no impulse purchases. All of these were heavily researched purchases. And a lot of people these days just immediately purchase something because they think it's going to bring them immediate satisfaction. Now, the most unique pattern that I noticed was that all of these people who bought these products were young adults with part-time jobs in college, which means they don't make a lot of money, but they were willing to spend a lot of money on something they have or something to get for their hobby, knowing it would bring them high satisfaction no matter the price. With all of this said, what this research has shown me is that consumers spend heavy on hobbies they are very passionate about. They also make performance-based purchases, and that leads to higher satisfaction. Reviews, peer influence, and expert opinion and knowledge also matters a lot on people's decision making. Even young consumers are willing to invest in high-end products, even though we don't make a lot of money in college. And buying decisions are a mix of emotion, like the passion for the hobby, and logic, like performance and high quality. To conclude all of this, what I have learned is there are clear trends in motivation when making purchases. And there's a strong focus on performance and reliability when someone wants something high quality they care about. And retail choice is based on expertise and convenience. Everyone wanted something really quickly and that day of, or maybe that week of, with fast shipping. And the interviews provide insight into a hobby-driven consumer behavior. Thank you very much.